What's up guys, Magic Knives here, and in today's video I'm doing an airsoft review on the G&G G36c, or as they call it, the GEC-36 because of licensing reasons. So either way, it's a replica of the G36c, and this is a pretty awesome looking gun. Just as a disclaimer, this red dot sight does not come with the gun. This is just a spare one that I had, just to fit on the gun just to make it look a little bit cooler. But with any red dot that you put on this thing, it will look pretty sick. So I'll give you a rundown of the gun itself. Starting from the front, you get a flash hider here, which is it's a 14mm negative threading, so you can switch this out for any flash hider that you want. But either way, you can screw it in and it'll do the job very nicely. Okay. At the front here, the handguard, you have some rails at the bottom here. You also get some rails that you can attach on the side here as well, on both sides. So if you want to attach a flashlight or laser or camera, you can totally do that. You just gotta install them yourself. But just for the sake of simplicity, I just leave them stock like this as it is. Just got that one rail there. And at the front here is where you actually house your battery. So right here, there's a little tab on the side. You just gotta push it out, or push it in, sorry. And that way you can pull it out from here. From here, you just slide the front forward, and you have your battery housing right here. It's got your typical Tamiya connector. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but this may or may not be the MOSFET for it, because this gun has a really nice trigger response. You have a pretty decent amount of battery space, just as long as you stick with a typical stick type battery. And then once you got your battery in, you just gotta slide this back on, and then just take the pin, just shove it right back into the hole, just like that, and then you're good to go. And then moving back, you have here, this is a full, this is a pretty much completely polymer gun, so it keeps the weight down, and even the rails here are polymer. The rails down here, I believe, are aluminum, because they feel like aluminum, and even the spare rails you get are aluminum. But the top here is very plasticky, so you do want to keep that in mind. Don't be too rough with it, I guess. So that's that. You got your front sight and your rear sight here, pretty standard. You have your aperture here. Let's show that. You have your aperture here. You can also push it forward to change it a little bit. All right, pretty standard stuff. This gun features what they call a heavy bolt system. You have your charging handle right here, which is nice. It's ambidextrous, so you can pull it either to the left side or the right side, depending if you're doing this lefty or righty. And what's neat about this is that once you pull it back, it locks the bolt to the rear, and from here you can adjust your rotary style hop up right there. Be warned, the hop up for this is pretty stiff, so whenever I adjust the hop, I have to put my thumb right in the center and just either push down to decrease hop or push up to increase the hop. You'll have to do this quite a bit if you really want to increase the hop. So with 0.2 gram BBs, starting from the very bottom lowest setting, I would just do 2 pushes from the middle upwards as much as I can, and that was enough for me to get the hop up at a decent flight path. And what's really cool about this charging handle, or the bolt lock feature, is your bolt release is right inside the trigger guard here. It's a very tiny button. It's right there. where my finger is. Now to release release the bolt forward. The best way I found was you take your trigger finger, you place it right underneath the bolt release, and just let go with these fingers here. You don't want to be holding on, otherwise you won't have enough force to push it up, because I do find the bolt release pretty stiff. So you're gonna have your thumb around the grip, but then have these three fingers free. You're gonna use your first finger to push up into the body of the gun, and it's gonna send that bolt forward and home like that. So do that again. You just pull the charging handle from the side back, do your adjustments or for the hop up, and then you're just gonna take your first finger, rest it underneath, open these fingers up, push up, and just push the bolt forward. So if you just want to do this for fun, rack it, change mag, whatever, and then push up like that, and then you're good to go. Alright, so that's how you operate the charging handle and the bolt release. Moving on to the mag. So this is the G&G G36 magazine. This is a 110 round mid-cap magazine that I actually bought after I got the gun, because the magazine that I got with the gun was a high cap magazine, and it came broken for some reason. There was absolutely no follower. I couldn't load the magazine, so I know I need to get a mid-cap magazine for it anyway, so I just ordered the G&G G36 mid-cap magazine. Like I said, it's a 110 round mid-cap, so it's a pretty good capacity, and it actually, as you can see, comes with a follower, right? So it'll make sure every BB will feed. Do keep in mind, because it is a follower, if you choose to do reload practice with it, you want to be careful, because when you're inserting the mag, you don't want to risk breaking this, because this, I mean, it's loose, but it's a little plasticky. I would be a bit concerned about breaking this, so you want to make sure when you load the magazine in, it's fully aligned, so you're not risking breaking your follower. Alright, but the way you're loading the magazine for this, in this case with the G36 mag, is it's a paddle style AK release. So if I'm showing it from this way, you just use your thumb to push forward on the paddle release, and as you rip up the mag like that. And to insert it, it's very simple. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do any rocking. You're just like an M4 magazine. You just push up as straight as you can, and the magazine will lock nice and firmly. Okay. Now the cool thing too with the G36 is the magwell here. This right now is standard with the G36 magwell, but you can also switch this out for, as you can see, there's a pin here. You can take it out, and then you can switch this for an M4 magazine adapter, so that this way the G36c will take M4 magazines. The downside to that, though, from my experience, is that the magazine release for the G36 magwell adapter is only on the left side, so you'll only be able to do left-handed or you'll only be able to do one side reloads. If you're a lefty or you're shooting at lefty, you might have issues figuring out a way to reload it as efficiently. So I personally would just stick with getting G36 mags for this, and get the G&G magazines for it, because the other one I tried, which is SEMA, it didn't fit at all for this. So, and this one, it's a very nice polymer. It feels very rock solid. It doesn't feel like it's gonna creak or break at all, and the fitment for it is just very nice. There's very little wobble, if any at all, and it just completes the look of the gun, honestly. And what is cool is that with the design of the little magazine knobs right here, you can actually attach two magazines together side by side, so you can do reloads much faster this way. I will say to you guys, though, just as a heads up, if you do get these G36 this G36 mags, you also have to keep in mind, or you also have to be aware that because when you get this, it will be pretty stiff. So when I remember when I was loading this magazine up, it was really stiff, and I could barely like get the whole magazine filled up without like keep forcing BBs in there. So you do have to break this magazine in, and then when you start shooting it for the first few times, the first few shots, because the tension is so high from the spring, it really like pushes the BBs up into the barrel, and the BBs won't properly come out of the barrel. They'll just kind of fall downwards. That tends to happen a lot with new magazines. So and that even happened with my SEMA AK with the magazines that I had. So just be aware of that. You will have to break the magazines in, or you might have to use high quality BBs in order to minimize that from happening. So yeah, just bear that in mind. You probably, like what I'm doing right now is I'm loading the magazine up, keeping BBs in here, just trying to soften the spring up, so hopefully it doesn't shove the it doesn't press the BBs up as tight as it does right now. So that's one thing I would watch out for. But other than that, that's the only issue right now with the magazine as it is. But other than that, very nice fitment. Once you do get past those 5-10 shots of it just falling out, at least if before you've broken it in, then it feeds very nicely. The shots are traveling pretty nicely. So trigger itself is pretty good. It has a very long pull before you finally get to the wall. I don't have a battery in here, so I can't demonstrate that to you, but it's right at the edge of the travel here, where you'll finally hit the wall, and it'll shoot the round off. So unfortunately, I wouldn't say like it's so the travel is the wall is almost at the very end of the whole trigger pull here, so you won't be able to well, as long as you pull it right to all the way to the back, and then you can flutter the trigger from here, so you can get some pretty good follow-up shots. When I was trying this, I had an 11.1 lipo in here, so that I was getting really good trigger response. So I didn't have any issues as far as the gun locking up or anything like that, so far at least. So I don't think you'd have to worry about that, honestly. Because even though the trigger pull is long, you can, like, the reset of it is pretty short, so you can definitely flutter the trigger and get some good rapid fire shots on semi-auto. So I don't think you have to worry about that. The safety, as you can see, is ambidextrous. You can find it on both sides. Okay, I'm righty, so I'll usually do sort of like this, where first position I push down, you get that nice click. Semi-auto is the first position. When you go push all the way forward to full auto, it doesn't reach all the way. I find on my particular one, if I don't keep my thumb on the selector, I will shoot on full auto, and then it just kind of gets stuck, and it won't shoot, or it'll go back to semi-auto. So I find I have to keep my thumb on the selector if I want to keep full autoing the gun. So that's just in my particular case, just because my selector doesn't truly go all the way to full auto. It's kind of in this half position between semi and full. I'm not sure if this is the case for all the other models of this by G&G, so do keep that in mind. So then when you want to put this back on safe, I just use my first finger, just pull it back like that. So thumb is what I use to take the safety off, and then my first finger is what I use to pull the safety back on. That's how I operate the safety for this. The other thing I will say, which is pretty nice, got this nice foldable stock here. You just press this button in here, and you can fold the stock inwards like that. That way you can pretty much, it's nice for storage for sure. I mean, if you wanted to shoot it like this, I guess you kind of could, although then you can't really access the safety on here. I would say this is more for for storage, if anything. As you can see right there, it doesn't lock into place, so this is probably not the most ideal if you're going to be running and gunning with this in a CQP field or something like that. I would say it's more for storage, and then when you're ready to go, just flip this back up and it locks into place just like that. It's really nice, actually. I just noticed it's got a very nice rubber butt pad here, so that's why when you rest this on your shoulders, it feels very nice and comfortable too. That's actually one thing I noticed when I was shooting this, even though this doesn't really have recoil. It actually does have a tiny bit of recoil. When you put an 11.1 in this, you can see it actually rocking the gun back a tiny bit, maybe because of that heavy bolt system that I mentioned to you guys about. Very nice. It has a very nice soft shaking to add a bit of that recoil simulation there, but other than that, the stock is very nice. Good, nice cheek rest, and yeah, pistol grip feels pretty good overall. Can't complain about that. Out of the box, because I did get this I am in Canada, so when I got this at a Canadian store, this was shooting at around 375 feet per second, more or less, so pretty good out of the box. So at least at the field where I play, the maximum FPS limit is 380, so this is just under there. This won't be my gaming gun. This will be for the airsoft range where I work, so because everyone seems to like the G36c because of its futuristic looks and all that. So that said, guys, if you have questions, leave them down in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this airsoft review. And with that said, I hope to see you guys in my future videos. Until next time, peace out, guys.